Hi guys, welcome back. Let us look at this example on finding the missing sides and missing angles of a triangle. So guys, the given information says we have a triangle ABC where the length of side A is 32, side B is 71, and we have the measure of angle C. Guys, our first step is going to be actually drawing this triangle, and then from there we'll be able to see which equation or which form or which law we have to use. Okay, so guys, I'm going to first draw the triangle. So let us say the triangle looks like something like this, and you are free to draw the way you like. Guys, this is my A, this is my B, and this is my C, and then I'm going to fill in the information that is already provided to me. I have the length A, which is 32, and then I have the length B, which is 71, and then I have the measure of angle C, which is 32.8 degrees. I don't know the value for measure of angle B and measure of angle A. So I have to find and I also have to find the length C. So we have to find the length C, then we have to find the measure of angle A, and we also have to find the measure of angle B. Okay, so guys, when we have a triangle like this, which is an oblique triangle, it's not a right angle triangle, then the first thing that one can do here is we can set up we can use the sine law. And let us go ahead and use the sine law. Keep in mind, guys, now at this point, we know both the laws. We know the sine law and the cosine law. So we're going to still start by using the sine law. And if sine law works, then fine. We're going to use the sine law to figure out the missing angles or missing sides. Guys, if sine law does not work, then only we'll move into the cosine law and try to use a different law. Okay, so let us set up the sine law. In this case, guys, if I set up the sine law, it's going to be sine A over A equals to, guys, I like to write the general form first, sine B over B equals to sine C over C. So let us now substitute the values that are already provided to me. So guys, I have sine of A is not known, but the length A is known, that is 32. Then I have sine of B, which is not known. Length B is 71, that is known. Sine of C, and C is known, which is 32.8 degrees, and then the length C is not known. Now let us look at these three ratios and see if we can use two at a time to figure out the missing values. Now guys, look carefully. If I compare these two, I have two unknowns and there's only one equation. So there's no way we can solve for two unknowns in one single equation, even if we cross multiply or whatever we do with that. So guys, we cannot use these two ratios to find anything. Similarly, if I compare or if I set these two equal to each other, again, I have two variables and I'm dealing with just one equation. Again, there's no way that we can solve for both the variables using just one equation. Again, if we try to use this one and the third one, first one and the third one, we're going to get stuck in the same situation where we have two variables and just one equation. So guys, what does that mean? It means that just by using the sine law, one cannot actually solve for any of the missing sides or the missing angles. So sine law does not actually work here. Now, if sine law does not work, then we have to try and see if we can use the cosine law. Okay, so guys, I just wanted to start with the sine law, and we should always like to start with the sine law because it's kind of easier and simpler than the cosine law. But if it works, then that's great. You just got to continue using the sine law and finding all the missing sides and angles. If it does not work, like in this case it does not work, now we have to use the cosine law. So guys, I'm going to get rid of this and we're going to start using the cosine law. Guys, keep in mind, cosine law can be expressed in three different ways. It starts with a square equals to something on the right hand side, or b square and the c square. In this case, guys, I'm going to start by using the form for the cosine law, which starts with c square, because the first thing that we have to find here, or that I would like to find here, is the missing side c. So what I'm going to use here is the form that c square equals to a square plus b square, which is like writing the Pythagorean theorem, but there's something more to it, which is minus 2ab, and then there's the cosine of angle c. And the good thing here is we have the value for the angle c. Okay, so using this formula, now let us substitute the values, guys. C square is going to be A is already known, 32 square, B is known, 71 square, 2 times A times B times cosine C. So we know the values for A, B and the angle C, so we have everything on the right hand side. So 32 times 71 times cosine of 32.8 degrees. So guys, when we simplify all this, and I have already simplified this, we get this equivalent to 2245.5 if I only round to one place. And then guys, to get C, we have to take the square root on both sides. So when we take the square root on both sides, again using a calculator, we get close to 47. That is the length of the side C. So length of the side C is 47. I have it, so I'm going to just replace or write the value for that. So I already have the three sides. Now my goal is to find the missing angles. Guys, I don't have to find, or I don't have to use the cosine law 3 times to find everything, because if I find one of the other angles, missing angles, then I can find the third one by just taking the 180 minus the sum of the other two. So let us go ahead and try to find, you are free to find A or B first, but let me see what I have here. Guys, I have first I found out A, and then from there I was able to find the B. So I'm going to use the form that is going to help us to find the value for the angle A. Guys, you can use the other one that can help you to find the value for angle B, and then you can find A. It's up to you. So this is what I used for finding the value for angle A. I used the form A square equals to B square plus C square minus 2BC cosine of A. Guys, I'm trying to find the value for angle A. Obviously, I have to use an equation or the form that has an angle A, right? So that's why I use this form. Keep in mind there are three forms. This is one of them. And then guys, this is the other one. Of course, there's a third one as well. So in this form, I substituted values for that are already provided to me, and then from there I could solve for the missing variable. So A is already known to me, 32 square equals to, and then I know my B and I know my C as well. 71 square plus C square is 47 square minus 2 times B times C, 2 times 71 times C, which is 47. And then I have cosine of the angle A, which I don't know, so I can just write it like that, cosine of A. So all I have to do now is, guys, please be careful while simplifying this. So order of operations, we're going to follow those carefully. So first of all, what did I do? So there's a few different ways. So I kind of use my calculator to simplify the left hand side. Using my calculator, I got 1024 when I squared this, and this is equal to, I squared this guy, 5041. I squared this 47 squared, which is 2209, and then minus. Guys, I multiplied 2 times 71 times 47. When I multiplied these three numbers, I got 6674 times cosine of A. Guys, the common mistake sometimes that I see students make is like they add these and then they subtract 6674 from there. Guys, you cannot do that because it is multiplied to cosine A. So you can add these, that is correct, but you cannot just subtract this because it is connected with cosine A. So once you add it, you just have to leave it alone. So from here, since we want to get cosine A by itself, so we kind of have to isolate this whole term. So isolating this whole term means you got to first add this or subtract these two quantities or these two numbers from both sides. So when we do that, it basically becomes, when I subtract minus 5041 and minus 2209, and I do the same thing to the left hand side, right? Because we want to isolate this term, then only we can evaluate the cosine of the function, cosine of A. So if I subtract 5041 minus 2209 on both sides, and finally on the left hand side, guys, using my calculator, finally I got negative 6226 equals to negative, and here nothing changes, only these two things, these two numbers crossed out, and here I have 6674 cosine of A. Guys, let us focus on this equation right here after we simplified all this. Now from here we have to get cosine A by itself. Let me make some room to actually do that, please. Now to do that, I will get rid of this information right here. I got to make some room to do it. So guys, let me take it up right here. So I have negative 6226 equals to negative 6674 cosine of A. To get cosine A by itself, I got to divide both sides by negative 6674. If I divide the right hand side, I will divide the left hand side as well. Well, this crosses, so I have finally cosine of A, and I simplify this using my calculator. What do I get? I get, let me go up to 4 places, 0.9328. So from here, guys, to get A, we have to use the cosine inverse key on our calculators. Using that cosine inverse key, so A is the cosine inverse, I got to type in 0.9328, and I got close to 21.1 degrees. Okay, that is the value for A. So guys, I have the value for A. I have already the value for C. Now I can easily find the value for B. So let me find the value for measure of angle B. So measure of angle B obviously is going to be 180 minus, because sum of these three angles is 180, minus the sum of the other two. Sum of the other two, I'm going to write it. It is 32.8 plus, what do I have? 21.1 degrees. And guys, when I simplify this, what do I get? I get 126.1 degrees. So I have everything that I needed. I have the lengths of the three sides, and then I also have the measure of the angles, all the three angles. So B is my 126.1 degrees, and this is 21.1